Most finance books out there are written for a world that startups just don't live in. They're all based on stability, on decades of data. But startups, they live and breathe uncertainty. So what they need isn't just a different set of tools, they need a completely new way of thinking about finance. To really get why this is so important, let's just hop in a time machine back to 1999. Barron's Magazine published this now legendary article, Amazon Bomb. They argued the company was totally doomed, that giants like Walmart would just crush it. And look, this wasn't some random opinion piece. It was a serious analysis built on the rock-solid financial logic of the time. So you have to ask yourself, how did they get it so spectacularly wrong? How could these brilliant, seasoned analysts looking at the exact same numbers as everyone else completely miss the potential of a company that would literally change the world? Well, the answer comes down to one single core assumption that's at the heart of all traditional finance. It's an idea that works great for massive established companies, but it just completely falls apart in the startup world. It's called the going concern principle, and it's exactly what it sounds like, the assumption that a company is stable and will just keep operating forever. Every tool in the corporate finance playbook is built on this one idea. But for a startup, going on forever isn't the starting assumption, it's the goal, it's the dream. And right here, this is the fundamental conflict. See, corporate finance looks backward. It uses all this historical data to try and predict a stable future. Startup finance has to look forward, making big decisions with almost zero certainty. Using corporate finance tools for a startup, honestly, it's like trying to navigate the Amazon rainforest with a map of Manhattan. It just doesn't work. And that's exactly what the Amazon.bomb writers missed. They were laser-focused on immediate profits, and in doing so, they completely ignored the enormous user base and the incredibly powerful brand that Amazon was building day by day. They were trying to value the harvest before the seeds had even been properly planted. Okay, so if the old models are broken, what's the alternative? Well, it's not about trying to shove startups into these old, clunky frameworks. It's about building a new kind of financial intuition, one that's actually designed for the chaos and, let's be honest, the incredible opportunity of building something from scratch.
And this means we have to shift our focus. This kind of startup finance, it isn't about creating perfect reports just to keep accountants happy. It's really about building the intuition, that gut feeling, to make better decisions about where to put your very limited time and money when the future is just one big question mark.
So what are we actually trying to measure? In a startup, the most valuable assets you have are often the things you can't see or touch. We're talking about the size of your customer base, the strength of your brand, your team's unique talent, your IP. These things don't fit nicely on a traditional balance sheet, but they are the business. Okay, so this new intuition sounds great, but how do we make it practical? What are the actual tools we can use to measure and manage all these different kinds of value when everything is changing so fast? All right, the first key tool is something called lifetime value, or LTV. So instead of obsessing over a single purchase, LTV asks a much bigger question: what is the total value we can expect from a customer over their entire relationship with us? It's a huge shift from short-term profit to long-term value, and it's exactly what those analysts in 1999 couldn't see in Amazon. But, of course, that value doesn't just appear out of thin air. The other side of this coin is customer acquisition cost, or CAC. This is simply a measure of your investment. How much money did you have to spend on sales and marketing to get that one valuable new customer in the door? And thinking this way completely flips the script on how we value startups. Instead of just looking at past profits, which might be zero, investors start with a really different question. What could this company reasonably be worth in, say, 5 or 10 years? And from that future number, they work backward to figure out a fair valuation today. It's a valuation based entirely on potential. And look, having this kind of intuition is more critical today than ever before, because the whole world of how startups get funding is evolving way beyond just traditional venture capital. We're seeing these new frontiers pop up like tokenization, where you can turn assets into tradable digital tokens, or DAOs, these decentralized groups that fund projects collaboratively. The methods are new, for sure, but they all run on the exact same fundamental principle. You have to convince people that you can create long-term value out of nothing but an idea. So it really all comes back to this one powerful idea. Startup finance is the art of investing in the future.
It's about having the patience to prepare the land, plant the seeds, and nurture them, knowing that the harvest comes much, much later. The analysts back in '99, they were demanding a harvest from a field that had just been planted.
So really, this entire framework, this way of thinking, it's for the people who are actually in the trenches. It's for the founders, the early employees, and the investors who need to understand how startups actually work, on their own terms, not through the cracked lens of old-school corporate finance.
This whole value-first approach to finance is a huge topic, and we've really only just scratched the surface here. But I want to leave you with a question. From what you've seen, what do you think are the biggest, hardest financial challenges that founders are facing right now? Let us know what you think.